This cat is just staring at me with this goofy look on her face. She's adorable. Anyways, Nameless Narcissist here once again. A simple man diagnosed with MPD, giving you guys the facts about narcissistic personality disorder and what goes on in my head. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. But keep in mind, I'm no clinician, just a leading expert on narcissism. Not actually. I wanted to get a little grandiose joke there. So, can a narcissist care about you? I had a comment on my TikTok today, which, if you haven't, please follow my TikTok. It's a very, if you have NPD, it can be kind of hostile there towards us, so maybe not. But regardless, that asked, like, just a genuine question, like, can you care about people? No judgment, I'm just wondering. I was like, that's a respectful way to put it, I can answer that. And she said something, and, like, I basically, like, first of all, you can only put, like, 200 words in TikTok comments, so that, like, sucks. Like, how was I supposed to explain the intricacies of that in that little, like, why is there a limit like that? Anyways, so I basically just said, in my mind, I care about people, at least in my own way. I can't say whether or not that's how other people do, because I have nothing to compare it to. And that comes on to the crux of the issue, is how do we, because the only way we can really discern, like, feelings like that is to perfectly be able to enter the experience of somebody else. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't do that. Maybe it's my lack of empathy. But in my head, though, like, a lot of people see my behaviors and how easily I can, like, cut people off if I feel disrespected and stuff like that. And in a lot of people's minds, it's like, oh, they never cared about me. And I'm like, what? What about me getting mad and cutting you off and changing my mind about you? What makes that never had cared about you, I guess? Does that make sense? I'm always terrified. I'm never terrified that somebody never gave a shit about me. I am always terrified that they'll stop giving a shit about me, which is a huge distinction to me. I will, like, I can get very paranoid in my own relationships because I'm like, they're going to change their opinion on me. And maybe that's indicative of my own projections because I can only see somebody in the moment. But in moments, I can care about people in genuine ways. It can be a very cold sort of caring. It's very much like, oh, I have a loyalty to you and I enjoy my time with you and we take care of each other, whatever. But I do have like, there'll be some very intense moments where I feel very connected to somebody. Then as soon as they leave the room, I'm like, oh, I can never connect to anybody. It's very funny. Not funny, but you know what I mean. It's ridiculous almost. Because those feelings they're so fleeting. And having that last longer is something I've been chasing after for a long time. Just haven't been able to nail it down. But anyways, yeah, people see that kind of behavior and it's like, no, you never cared. In my experience, that's not the case. I have a really hard time keeping a stable image of people in my mind, especially if I haven't seen them in a long time. And it can be, and my attitudes towards somebody can change very rapidly. If I feel like disrespected or ignored, which I guess is, to me, is the same as being disrespected. But to me, because it's super weird, because it seems super bizarre to me when I see people who stay in abusive relationships. I guess I don't really have that much room to talk because of my relationship with a BPD person, but whatever. Because I'm always like, why are you staying with them? They're treating you like shit. And they're like, oh, but the good times. And I'm like, how's that relevant? It feels like to me when people talk about stuff like that, it just seems so illogical to me because I can only see people in the moment. I remember I had a close to be friend once tell me about how it always felt like people would hold grudges because they would view you as a holistic picture, and then when things bad that you did got brought up, or things that were bad about you in the past got brought up, it's like, oh, that's just holding a grudge. That's not relevant to me anymore. It's at least not relevant to me in the moment. And that feels so true. So fucking true. Like, I once had a friend who described how, oh, he's like, to a mutual friend, I was like, oh, I still care about Jacob, but the damage in the relationship at this point is like too much and I just don't think it'd be good for me. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean you still care about me but don't want me in your life? Because that's just not how it works in my mind. And I've changed now. So why is the past even relevant? If you forgive me like you're saying you do, why is the past relevant? it just felt it to me. It just felt like he was lying. If I'm being honest, it felt like he was just trying to say things that were going to sound good. And he didn't say it to me, so I can't really tell if he was lying or not. But the idea that it's that like what people are doing did in the past is relevant to the now. Like logically, sure, that makes sense. But when I'm actually emotionally relating to somebody, when I have an opinion on them, when I feel a certain way about them, it's always how are they treating me? Like I will fucking I have forgiven so many people in my life. Like you have no idea. They have to apologize first, of course, and then when that happens, I'll be like, okay, I did some bad things too. But I will forgive almost immediately if I feel like they'll come back to my life and they have changed. And other people aren't. I don't know. For other people, it just seems another good example was like for trust. People were saying how like, oh, like the trust is gone if you lie in a relationship. Hi, kitty. Do you want to come up here? Say hi to my adoring fans. This is bitch. Actually, I can't tell. Is this bitch or Tabby? I think it's Tabby, actually. Never mind, this is Tabby. And yes, my friend did name one of the cats bitch because they didn't think they were going to keep it. So now she's Miss B or McChicken, depending on the day. Proof that I haven't killed any of these cats yet, by the way. So I am running out of food for them though, so that's getting worried. Nope. God, cats. Jesus. Yeah, get away. I like cats, don't get me wrong, but I would never own one. They're mischievous. God, I got completely derailed by that cat. Yeah, like with trust, people were like, oh, the trust's broken now, and like that affects the relationship going forward. It's like, okay, I lied once. Why does that affect the future? Why, like, if you forgive me for that lie, then why is it relevant later? Maybe it's just because I don't trust anybody, period. Maybe. But, and also I don't have the same set of moral values when it comes to lying as a lot of people. But it is very interesting to me. So yeah, like, yeah, I can care about people. Not in a way that most people are familiar with, but, you know, I can. Well, and hell, I don't even know if it's different. Well, obviously the splitting and lack of emotional permanence, that stuff is different. But I don't know if, like, the feeling itself that I have towards people and how I care about them, if that's distinct at all. It might be. It probably is. Based on some of my behaviors and how I can be very dismissive of my friends. Very, like, condescending sometimes, because I still do feel like I'm better than them. Even if I do care about them and view them as, like, one of my own, somebody that's under my protection, somebody I will take care of, and somebody I will be loyal to. I mean, I still feel better than them. It's just how it is. It's the hierarchy. And people can get very... And I know how that can sound. Like, because to me, that doesn't make a difference if I view somebody... Because I kind of assume everybody's viewing everybody as less than themselves. I think they're fucking stupid when they view me as beneath them, but, like, whatever. But when if, like, that comes out, and even if it's not in a way that's, like, super damaging to them, if you just kind of make it... Like, if I'm honest about my grandiosity to people, for instance, where I'm like, yeah, I do feel like... I know it's not objectively true, or more accurately... I know that the hierarchy itself isn't, that it's an arbitrary hierarchy. Like, I mean, I am smarter than all my friends, but like, I know that ranking people based on these superficial qualities, at least I rationally know this, is the crux of the pathology as opposed to how I am ranking people. And trying to explain to people that, yes, I know objectively I am no better than you, but I feel like I'm way better than you. Well, it never really goes well, I'll say. And it's not like and I try to treat them with respect, obviously. I think that with being a better person, it's my obligation to treat those that are lesser than me well, because, like, having been blessed as better, it's my responsibility to treat those beneath me better. Yes, that's very patronizing, I know. I need to cope with this disorder somehow. I need these strange mental workarounds so I can behave in a normal fashion. But to me, that it really frustrates me, because it's like, because people, like, think that I think less of our relationship because I think less of them, which isn't true. I just think low of everybody, and it always confuses me that people get so upset about me feeling better than people, because I'm like, well, yeah, but I feel better than everybody, and I am better than everybody. say that. And just the lack of understanding that, like, I can't help but feel better than other people. Again, cognitively, I know I'm better than other people, but I feel better than everybody. Maybe that's a big part of it too. It's just people diminishing the importance of relationships to me, because I do think I'm better than them. But then there's times though that, like, especially if I'm threatened by like abandonment or something, that I will like idealize them and think that they're so much better than me too. Maybe I should clarify that to people, tell them that, like, okay, it's not, I usually feel better than everybody else, but there's also times that I think everybody else is better than me. That might be a good thing to say to some people who don't get that. It may surprise you, but even though I'm diagnosed, my friends I don't really talk to my friends about my diagnosis at all. They don't even ask about it. They don't really care. Well, and that has pros and cons, because on one hand, it's like, oh, they don't care that I have NPD, great. But then when I do some buck wild shit, they aren't looking to, like, they aren't trying to figure out why I did it, just because of the indifference towards the diagnosis. Which kind of sucks, because it feels like my friendships are, it feels like they don't take it seriously when I'm suffering because of that. Which, and like, don't get me wrong, I don't take it seriously when they suffer. But I do my best to, like, pretend to give them good advice. And in my head, I'm kind of like, this is so fucking stupid. But, like, that shouldn't matter as long as my actions are matching, like, friendship, right? I guess I can see, I mean, I don't tell them that either. But it's like, yeah, you see how the hiding the self really plays in this pathology a lot, because you kind of have to. I don't know. I don't think it should be, in my mind, it's just, maybe I'm just rationalizing, who knows. I think how I operate, given my disorder, is pretty damn adaptive compared to some people. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking up my life. Especially right now, it's fucking up my life. But, like, in general, I think it's one of the best ways you can hope for. And if I'm being honest, I did lose a lot of people to the stigma around NPD and people's preconceptions about it, and they wouldn't ask me about it. But, like, and to the point that I probably won't tell anybody again unnecessarily. Probably just tell them I have a personality disorder that fucks with my self-esteem, and leave it at that. I mean, I'm sure they'd figure it out eventually if I described it like that. Like, it would take like one Google search to really figure it out, or they'll assume it. Maybe I'll just tell them I'm borderline. I think that's a fair thing to lie about. I don't know. Anyways. Oh man, this video didn't even really have a topic, I guess. Tell me how you guys would react to being diagnosed. Wait, wrong video. Tell me how you guys... No. Yeah, I even forgot the topic of the video. No, it's if narcissists care about people. I just recorded that other video right before this. I'm a mess. Holy crap. I hope you all have a good day. I need to do something. Take your fucking meds.